We thank you, Fiona, for that. That's the most important gift you can give us. Finally, to Fiona's family, Honorable Mbidde is Fiona's choice. For herself, not for you. Please respect that. Because out of all the men in the world, she chose the one and only Fred Mukasa Mbidde to have and to hold. So if you love Fiona, love Honorable Mbidde. Now to us here also, I know here we talk a lot, this side of politicians. Oh, Fiona, this. From today, let us shut up. No more comments. Fiona is Mbidde's choice, full stop. So if we are here claiming to love Honorable Mbidde, let's love Fiona. Otherwise we will be lying. Fiona, you are now the woman of the home. Put your stamp. You know, you cannot change the environment always, but you can also influence it to a certain extent. There's a story about an egg, a potato, and a coffee bean put in hot water. The hot water is the same, but how those three things react was different. The potato became soft when it was subjected to hot water, yet it was hard before. The egg was soft, of course, inside. Then it became hard because of the heat of the water. The coffee did not change, but it changed the color of the water. Fiona, be the coffee bean in Mbidde's life. Change his environment. Don't become soft, don't become hard, but bring out who you are and influence his environment so that he can become a better man. There are tough struggles ahead. He needs you. Honorable Mbidde needs you. Politics is stressful. When he comes back home, you just give that smile. All the stress will just remain outside the gate. It's very important to do that. So on behalf of this delegation, we are very, very grateful. You have honored us very much. We believe that we are now one family. Thank you for the free seminar you have given us about culture called Okuhinjira. Mr. and Mrs. Taibwa and the entire family, I want to lift you up so that God can continue to protect you. We need you because we will be talking at our level. These young people may not understand a lot of the things that we talk about. I also want to thank all those, now a political statement, for the welcome that I received ever since I entered the government as a minister. It's important for me to say it. You know, you can join government and people are very suspicious. They don't welcome you. They think you have just come to eat, you know. In Uganda, people love talking about eating. But I have always told myself I'm not a stranded person. I have a market in and outside Uganda. I will do my best to serve Uganda. And fellow Ugandans, one lesson that I picked from Rwanda, tukendeze ku politics. I think we need to reduce politics. In Uganda, everything is politics. Let's reduce a bit of politics. Let's leave politics to a few people. The rest of us, let's work. That is one thing that I observed. I don't know whether that's the secret, but doesn't stop me from sharing it. May God bless you all for welcoming us. Taibwa, n'omukyala Esther Taibwa na family, batata, bamama, mwebale kutwakira. ninye Norbert Mao, President wa Democratic Party, kandi Minister wa Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Runyankole ni ndugambaje, but I think it will be too slow. Let me speak some English. This is not my speech. This speech is for our delegation. On behalf of our head of delegation, who is a full general, and on behalf of the groom and his best man and the entire family, the blood family, the political family of DP is here, and friends and those who have stood with him in this journey, this transition. This is a very important transition to a new life. We want to thank you most sincerely, our hosts. In the Acholi culture, when you go to marry a woman culturally, the last thing is being given food. You really suffer. You're even made to go on your knees for several meters. I think the International Criminal Court may have to look at some of those things that happen. But Fiona, I want to assure you, we would have done that, even if we were supposed to move on our knees. And the problem is that it would be me and the general to lead the kneeling. We would have done it for you. So, I want to congratulate the Honorable Fred Mukasa Mbidde and Fiona for making this important decision. The most important thing in life is to decide. Life is easy when you decide. Failing to decide can cause a lot of problems. Somebody is saying failing to decide is deciding to fail. So I want to thank you for making a decision. Many people are decidedly undecided. We are gathered here to celebrate that decision. Secondly, this is also a celebration of our culture. We have seen Kiganda culture, the Banyankole culture, the Kinyarwanda culture, even a cappella. I think the DP constitution is the only one which has among its objections the objectives and aims. A proposal to protect and defend African culture and traditions. It is there written. So even if the Reverend was not to lecture us on who to marry, actually we don't need to read the Bible. We know who to marry in African culture. We don't marry fellow men. Fred Mukasa Mbidde is the Vice President of the Democratic Party. He's a well-known lawyer. He's a businessman and entrepreneur. He is an international speaker. I saw his brother-in-law challenging his command of language, because I listened carefully as the young man was talking, and I realized that the antelope gets brown because it stays near the anthill. So the color of the antelope is changing to look like the anthill. Fiona, you've got yourself a very good man. I can tell you something about Honorable Mbidde. He has a mask. Behind that mask actually is a very sensitive and a very emotional person. But you have got to penetrate that mask. He uses that mask, and many people don't go beyond that mask. So they judge him that sometimes they think he's very aloof and so on. But that is just a mask. I'm sure you have discovered it. I know it because I've known him from when he was very young as a student in Makerere. He does not complain. Even when he's suffering, he will not tell you because of that mask. I supported him when many people were fighting him on sectarian grounds not to become guild president of Makerere. He has supported me. He has even come to Kulu to campaign for me. His kind of politics may not rhyme very well with our kind of Ugandan politics. One time I went to campaign for him in a place called Kalungu. In his usual style, he set up a stage with musicians and comedians. This was a very rural constituency. They want to drink waragi, they want you to speak very plainly, they don't want ceremonies. So Honorable Mbidde had a personal assistant standing behind him with a folder, a leather folder with his speech. And then he was there impeccably dressed as usual in a suit and a tie. And then his personal assistant would hand one page of the speech, then he presents it to the peasants, and then he passes the paper back, and then the second page is given to him. So after the rally, I sat down with him and I said, my brother, this is not your constituency. You don't belong here. Look for an urban constituency. So then that's how he migrated to Masaka municipality. But unfortunately, in politics, sometimes we have what they call waves. They can cause confusion. But overall, he's a good communicator. I also advised him to get land in Kalungu. I asked him, do you have land? Land where you can grow coffee and keep a few animals. He later reported to me that he had acquired some land, though now there are land wrangles. I'm told some people have decided that their boundary is inside his land. But obviously the Minister of Justice may take an interest in that injustice and ensure that the correct boundary is identified. And if we fail, then Mrs. Esther Taegwa, who is the mother-in-law, who is also a lawyer, may take an interest to defend the interests of the son-in-law. We fought hard to ensure that Honorable Mbidde goes to Iala. Many people think the Iala seat was a gift from the NRM. It wasn't. The Iala seat used to be shared between FDC and NRM. You know, personally, I hate hypocrites. I want to be who I am. These people would sit with the NRM, FDC and NRM, then they share the 9 seats. NRM takes 6 and FDC takes 3. There were no elections. They would just bring the name to Parliament and the Speaker would say, I put the question that the following become the MPs of Iala from Uganda. Those in favor say aye, to the contrary no, aye, and there they go. So I sat with Honorable Mbidde, and as usual, DP, we have been fighting injustice since 1954. And really, we don't care. We have enough scars. We are no longer afraid of being wounded. Even our leader was killed. If you total the number of years DPs have spent in prison, it is more than all the other people from other parties combined. Even those skulls and bones in Luero Triangle, the majority are DP. So really, when it comes to fighting and sacrifice, no one can lecture us. So I told Honorable Mbidde, are you ready for a fight? And he said, yes. I said, follow me. We stormed Honorable Amama Mbabazi's office. I'm telling you these stories to show you the closeness. Now in DP, as usual, you know, in the opposition, there are always rumors. There are those they call moles, that these ones are spies. I don't know what secrets are in the opposition, really. Because to be a spy, you must be getting secrets. But there are no secrets, so what are you spying about? It's nonsensical. So somebody saw me and Mbidde entering Amama Mbabazi's office, and then they started spreading a rumor that Mbidde has taken Mao to change to NRM. I realized that Mbidde and Amama Mbabazi had never met. I was also shocked. I actually thought they had met based on the usual rumors. So we decided to give Amama Mbabazi 6 months to allow open competition for Iala, or else we take him to court with his party, the Attorney General, and everybody else. After 6 months, he hadn't complied, so I told him, Mbidde, file a case, but make sure you put DP there as a party. So it was Democratic Party, Fred Mukasa Mbidde versus Attorney General, and the East African Community Secretariat. We won that case. Mbidde funded that case. DP did not put in a single coin. After we won, then they started to fight him not to be the one to go to Iala. As usual, people look for petty things. We can't support Mbidde. We can't support Mbidde. But we made sure he went. Honorable Mbidde, we are very proud of your record in Iala. You represented us very well. And I believe that's the reason why we have the Right Honorable Martin Ngoga, former Speaker of Iala, right here, from the Republic of Rwanda. He is now going to Nairobi as the High Commissioner of Rwanda to Kenya. A few days ago, we were together at a certain residence somewhere near Kigali. I won't talk a lot about that party. It was exclusive, and he was there among the special people. I will leave those who seem to know a lot about that party to talk about it. You know, in Uganda, those who know a lot don't talk. Those who know very little are the ones yapping 24 hours, Twitter, Facebook. We want to thank you for being a faithful friend to Honorable Fred Mukasa Mbidde. In this world, it is important to have friends. Mr. Godfrey Kirumira was supposed to be here, but as you have heard, he has been our chairman for organizing everything, including the events that are to come. It has pleased the President of Namibia to appoint him as the Honorary Consul of Namibia to Uganda. So, they say, so he quickly took off to go and receive instruments. I think he has landed at the airport, but thanks to traffic jam and other things, he may not arrive here in time. The people who are here are selected. Honorable Mbidde has very many friends. We would have requested for more numbers, but we were shy. I should have also been this side actually. Some of you don't know that I should have been on Emmanuel Taibwa's side. I was one of those students in Namilyango who was known as Kaus. You know, Kaus means you basically have nothing. Kaus means that particularly you don't have any, your parents don't visit you. So you are called Kaus. And to show that categorization, even the canteen had categories of cassava. There was the boiled cassava which was called chalo. Now if you are Kaus, that is your level. Then there was the fried one, put in oil, they called it chibuga. Then there was another one which had some curry powder, it was called London. So Taibwa was in the London category. But in life, it is good to make friends with those who have money. I have very many rich friends right from Namilyango, and Taibwa was one of them. And even during some campaigns, I would go and threaten him. Say, now I'm contesting for president. Are you not embarrassed if I run out of fuel? And he would contribute despite not being a DP. So I can now disclose that. But we know that belt was a DP. So, but I also had other means of getting grab. I generally do calligraphy, have very good handwriting. So I was the official love letter writer for my dormitory. So when the young men wanted to communicate their emotions and feelings to the ladies, whether Namagunga, Gayaza, Nabingo, Nabisunsa, all those, I would generally first of all call the person and say, start assembling my fees. So they would put biscuits and what, then I say, okay, that's now okay. Then I write. And I'm sure when the lady would receive the letter, she would first of all just look at how the letters are sleeping. And that in itself would open the doors of our heart. Namilyango was a school for responsible people. Every Wednesday they would open the gate and we just walk away, provided you come back before 6 for roll call. We learned to be responsible. There was only one rule in Namilyango: be responsible. It's as simple as that. And from that time, I took my path of politics, he took his path of business, and he has prospered in that line. I have visited his home. Your late mom used to love me very much. The challenge was that the prayers were very long. So sometimes you would have to say, please don't announce that I'm around. Because the moment you are there, the Bible is open, then Katushabe, and then it goes on and on. But it is not a bad thing. Emmanuel and your entire family, plus even Honorable Mary Mujenyi, I think those are the prayers that have held your family. You may be receiving favor because of the old woman's spirituality. I believe now that is the anthem of the revival movement. My grandfather was one of those, the barefoot one. I'll tell you in future when we have more time how I was baptized the Catholic, despite coming from a very Anglican roots. People were shocked when they came to bury my father and found 2 Protestant bishops burying him. So, but the Acholis, despite having only 23 letters of the alphabet. You know, we don't have S, we don't have Z, we don't have F. So they would insist, "Oh mujai gunajija nebaja oh molokoji." At least I remember that.
Using those words, let's go.
So anyway, Fiona and Honorable Mbidde, this is a happy occasion. And I am not here by accident. I'm here because I am the court of appeal in case there's any issue. Because I think of all the people in this room, I can summon Honorable Mbidde. And he entrusts me with his secrets. I have a lot of his secrets. The next person is Honorable Kasolo, who I doubt whether they are always up to good things only. But at least Honorable Kasolo taught Honorable Mbidde business. And then Mrs. Kasolo, Aisha Binzika Kasolo, is also very close to Honorable Mbidde. So they have a very interesting relationship. So one day, Mbidde calls me and says, "We are going somewhere in the way of an operation." I said, "What is this?" He said, "You know, the children are growing, I'm alone, I need to find someone." So we took off for the so-called operation. And then we found this young lady, and we were very humble, we spoke a lot, and now here we are. At first I thought they were not taking us seriously. So, our brother Emmanuel Taiwa, please take us very seriously. We want to promise to take care of Fiona. And I want to take personal responsibility together with our army, the Uganda Young Democrats, plus all the others, to make sure that she's happy. She's a lovely young lady, she's educated, she has made a choice to love Honorable Mbidde unconditionally.